Claude Debussy, one of France's greatest composers, was born in 1862 outside of Paris. And so he was 8 years old when the Franco-Prussian War started in 1870. This was a very traumatic event for Debussy's family. His father was drafted into the French army, was captured by the Prussian army, and spent some time in a prisoner of war camp. So his military career was a total failure. France as a nation was absolutely humiliated. And so maybe it's no surprise that Debussy had very strong anti-German sentiments throughout most of his life. And this shows itself in the fact that Debussy made a point of not wanting to compose music in the traditional forms which were considered Germanic, such as the symphony, the sonata, the concerto. But later in Debussy's life, in 1915, ironically in the middle of the First World War, when anti-German hysteria was just whipped up to an incredible extent all over the world, Debussy decided that he was going to write a series of sonatas, this most Germanic of forms. And he wrote to his publisher and said he had planned a series of 6 sonatas for diverse combinations of instruments. And the first one that he wrote in 1815 was the Sonata for Cello and Piano that you're going to hear momentarily. And Debussy makes the sonata form his own. He's very much inspired by his predecessors, the famous Baroque composers such as Couperin and Rameau. And so there's a sense of archaism of looking back to a very long ago time. The work is in 3 movements. The title of the first movement is Prologue. The title of the third movement is Finale. These are very self-evident. The movement in the middle is called a serenade. And this requires a little bit of background, I think. Serenade is derived from the Italian word sera, which means evening. When you're in Italy, you say buonasera to say good evening. And the serenade has a very specific scenario. It always takes place in Spain on a moonlit evening. A young muchacho is down in the street playing his guitar, singing a love song to the senorita up in the balcony, who is being very coquettish and waving her fan and pretending that she is not at all interested in the love song that the young man is singing. And so this is the scenario for a typical serenade. And so what Debussy does is he takes this, but he brings in the character of Pierrot from the Italian Commedia dell'arte. Pierrot's a stock character who is a clown. He has the stereotypical big feet. He's always stumbling around, partly because he's usually not sober. So one night, upon leaving the tavern, Pierrot's stumbling along, and he looks up and he sees the moon. And the moon is so beautiful, he starts singing a love song to the moon. And this is the story that is behind the second movement. And what Debussy does is he uses the cello as a guitar, because you can pluck the strings of a cello just like you can the guitar. And so the piano and the cello trade back and forth the beautiful serenade melody while both instruments imitate guitars.